Good morning, good morning. I wanted to show you real quick what we're doing with the herbs that we had went out and harvested all before it came to freeze the other night. And we have laid them out to dry, as you've seen in the other video. We laid them all out to dry on the table and on cookie cooling sheets, the cookie cooling racks. And we've got them drying. And there's some that I need to go ahead and use. So I'm going to show you how I am going ahead and drying those and then how we're going to store them. So in our last video, you saw how we had laid these out and were letting them dry on these cookie cooling sheets here, just on these cookie racks. And some are getting crispy. Some others are, still kind of wet. You can feel them. Others you can hear they're kind of crunchy. So we have to kind of fluff those up every now and then. And then down here we've got the lemongrass and some more mint. And what I'm doing over here, I have my rack set back up because we've almost finished the floor. We've got this room done. So I've got this back to where it's going to be. And here we've got lavender. You can see the lavender in there. This is just a little cheap dehydrator that I bought actually at a yard sale for $5. And I've got 4 tiers in here that have lavender in it, and this is only about half of it. And whenever this is done, then I'll be able to use it for my next project. Over here, you can see in here I've got some basil. And in the bottom, let's see if we can peek in there, I've got sage. So these 3 down here have sage in them, and then this top one has some of the basil. Just the extra leaves that fell off that is not on the stalk to where I could hang them in the window. So I'm dehydrating these in the dehydrator. And we just bought this one. It's a Dehydro Presto from Walmart. We just got this one, and I love it. It does get a little warm, so you have to watch it. There's no temperature control on it, no on or off. You just plug it in, and it's on. This one has an on and off, and it doesn't get as hot. So for the more delicate things, I can use this one, and then to power blast through stuff, I can put them in this. But you do have to watch it because this one gets hot, and probably too hot for a regular dehydrator, but it doesn't take long in there. And then you've seen in our other video, we've got our basil up here that's drying. Yeah, there's no way to get away from that sun. The basil up there that's drying. We got our persimmon sitting in the window trying to ripen up. So once these herbs, once these herbs get dry from the dehydrator, then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Where is my other bag? It's over here. Let me show you what I did with the last big harvest. Whoops. What I did is I laid them out. I didn't actually use a dehydrator. And then I put them all in these bags once they're dry. Labeled them. So I've got all of these right here. Let me turn you around. Got all of these right here that once I get the rest of these done, I'm going to go back through here and I'm going to take them out of the bags and go ahead and store them properly. The main thing with herbs is that you want to dry them in their whole form. There's some previous sage. Very pretty. You want to dry them in their whole form, as in their whole leaf like this. Because all you're doing with dehydration is you're taking out the water content. You're not taking out any nutrition, and you're not taking out any of the oil. So whenever you get ready to use these, you can actually store them like this if you want to. I'm actually going to take the leaves off very carefully and store them in glass mason jars so I can really just, use them as decoration as well because I'm actually going to decorate with them. But whenever you go to use these, you crush them or, you know, just kind of smush them in your hands right before you use them. And that is when it releases the aroma and all the oils that is stored up. It's like whenever you dehydrate it, you kind of put it in dormancy. And so whenever you take them out to crush them and to use them, then that is when you release everything and it's fresh. And that's why fresh herbs or dehydrated fresh herbs are so much more potent that you have to use, like if it calls for 3 tablespoons, you may only have to use 1 or 1 teaspoon. Just simply because the flavor is so stout and fragrant that you have to use actually less with homegrown fresh herbs. So these are going to go back over here. I got my pantry set back up. Give you a sneak peek of that real quick. There's my pantry. So as soon as these herbs are here get done out of the dehydrator, I'll bring you back and show you how to carefully take them off and put them in the jars and how to store them. You can, I mean, you don't have to vacuum seal them. You can if you want to, just to keep the air out of them. But as long as they are completely 100% dry, they will store just with a cap on them. You don't have to do any kind of canning or vacuum sealing or anything like that, because there's nothing in there that's going to grow. There's, you know, shouldn't be any bacteria in your jars. If there's no moisture, then there's no bacteria. So that is 100%. Got to get all the water out. And I will show you how to check those as soon as they get done. So we'll see you back in a little bit. We have here our dried basil. You can hear it crunchy, crunchy. You don't want to mess with them yet. Let's set them over there. And then here's our sage. It's crunchy as well. Crunchy, crunchy. Sounds like it's all good. So I changed my mind. I'm not going to put these in jars just yet. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the bags that I already had, because I've got so many herbs I've got to get dried. And taking the leaves off is kind of time consuming. So I'm probably either going to put these in a half-gallon jar, just still on the stems like I have in the bag here, or just use them out of the bag. That's the most beneficial thing for me to do right now. And as I'm taking the sage off, I am moving the lavender over to this one. The lavender from the small one, since I've already gotten it warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and move it into here, because this one dries fast. This only took about an hour to do these 4 trays here. So these are getting warm, and you can see they're not crunchy. They're still soft. So I'm going to transfer them over to this one. You want a thin layer so the air is going to flow through it. You don't want them too thick where the air is not going to flow through, because it's going to take it longer to dehydrate. So just be careful when you're putting these in here not to disturb any of the leaves, because you don't want to activate the oils in them yet. Not until you're cooking for Thanksgiving. Or the sage we may use in some deer sausage. I may be making some of that pretty soon. Emma's processing her deer today that she killed the other day. If you've seen it on our Facebook page. She killed her first deer. So she is with her pawpaw processing it today. She'll be bringing that home soon. I may have to get another bag. I think I will. And And as with any label or any bag, make sure you label it, and label it first before you get everything in there and then try to write on it. So go ahead and label it. And then we will carefully put our herbs in here. Besides what's in the floor. Herbs do tend to make a mess once they get dry. They just kind of float everywhere. Alright. Set these over here. Let's go over here to the lavender. I've got a couple too many on this tray here, so I can take some off. You just want a single layer as best you can. Try to keep them all in there. That's like one whole bunch, so I'm just kind of have to leave it. I'm not going to cut it apart. Alright. Keep on stacking. That's why you just got to put it together right. Alright. So hang on to these for a second. Let's get these empty. So we'll have to watch them. It's not going to take these long to dry. Put this top on here. And then we will let this go until they're done. We'll come back and check on them shortly. We've still got rosemary and spearmint and lemon mint down here that we've got to get dehydrated so I can get all this cleaned up. So it's been a couple of hours, and this is the lavender. I just took it off of the dehydrator base and went ahead and cut it off to let it rest just a few minutes, because this has been going for like 3 hours now. And you can see the lavender, it just falls right off. So that is done. And I need to get a bag and put this in. I'm actually going to be using this lavender in some products that I'm making coming up pretty soon. So you guys stay tuned for that. See what I'll be selling next. I've always got new projects coming up. What's the next thing I can do to provide all natural stuff for everyone? Alright, ladies and gents, it's been about an hour. They are pretty crunchy. Pretty crunchy. So I'm going to get these off, put the next round on. Whew, it has been a day. So this is the last of the rosemary that we've got drying, and once this gets out, then we start with the mint. Alright, so I was going until late last night getting all these herbs put up, and I wanted to show you what all I got. So we've got 3 gallon bags and 1 quart bag. This is from earlier in the season of rosemary. I'm going to have about 3 bags of spearmint because I still have the dehydrator right there. And it's still got 3 trays of the last bit of mint in it, of the spearmint. I still have the lemon mint down there. Didn't even get to it last night. So I've got that and the spearmint. The lavender, I've got 2 bags here. And here's some spearmint from earlier. And then parsley. 2 bags of basil, 2 bags of sage, and then this lemongrass, and then the rest of the lemongrass down there that I will have to get bagged here shortly. So that is all I'm going to be doing with this. They're falling off. So that's all I'm going to be doing with this as of right now. So I'll get them out and I'll use them as I need them. Crush them when I use them. Otherwise, they're going to stay in the bags because they are super dry. They're not going to mold or mildew or anything like that because they are preserved. All the oils and everything are preserved in them, so they will reactivate whenever I crush them and use them. And you can use these in cooking. You can use them in projects. I've seen people where they've made like the rosemary or lavender wreaths and hung them on their windows, kind of like curtains on the inside for smells and different things like that. I mean, like you could do like I was doing in there with the herb curtain, hanging them around my bay window, you know, just to make it pretty. So you can do whatever you want to. If you want to take them off the stem before you dehydrate them, that's easier than trying to take them off after because you don't want to break them and crush them and all that stuff. So if you want to store them, you know, in glass jars or something, go ahead and take them off before you dehydrate them on the stem. Take them off the stem before you dehydrate. So, anyways, we've had a good herb haul this year, and I believe the mint and everything is still going outside. When it said we had the freeze the other night, it more like frosted. It didn't really freeze as bad as they said. So we really didn't lose anything, and I just put out the video for the tour that I did that morning. Maybe a little bit of cucumbers, but that's about all we really lost. Everything else seems to be doing good. Peppers are still blooming. Everything's still putting out. So it didn't go as bad as we thought it would. But now we've got all of our herbs put up and all of this back here. I'll show you a tour. It'll be in whenever I do the flooring tour. I'll show you the pantry and stuff because we just got it set up last night as well. So enjoy and go out and get all your herbs and everything put up for the cooking season that's coming up pretty soon. We'll see you guys later. Bye.